Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a really relaxing weekend. It is NTI day 24, and we are actually going to be looking at different types of angles. So let's go ahead and get started. What is an angle? Well, an angle is measured in degrees, and what an angle is it's the space between two straight lines. So we're measuring that space between two different straight lines that meet together. And instead of calling them lines, the fancy term for them is called segments. And the point where they meet is called the vertex. Okay, so the point where they meet is the vertex, and the two lines as they come together is called segments. And we're going to be looking at different angles and how we can classify different angles and how we can measure different angles. So the first type of angle that we're going to be looking at is a right angle. So I went ahead and drew that in. So a right angle is like a corner. When I look around my house, it's the corner of the ceiling. It's the corner of the windows. It's the corner of my stove. You can look around and you see all kinds of not triangles. You see all kinds of rectangles. You see all kinds of squares, and all the corners are right angles. So when we talked about how a square has 4 right angles and a rectangle has 4 right angles, that's what we're talking about. This line perfectly goes straight up and down, and this line is perfectly straight horizontal. When you are classifying a right angle, most of the time people put a little square. You need to know that a right angle is 90 degrees. Okay, and when you get into 4th grade, you'll work with a protractor. And that's where, whenever we were going on to the test and you got a protractor and you guys were like to spin it in a circle, that's what a protractor is. It's like a ruler at the bottom, and then it has almost like an arch connecting to it. And what that is used for is to measure different angles. Well, in order for you to measure different angles in 4th grade, you're going to need to know about the different types of angles in 3rd grade. So the first one we looked at was a right angle. The next one that we're going to look at and that you need to know, it's called a straight angle. It's as simple as the name. It's a straight line. Okay, it's 180 degrees. So if it's 180 degrees and you know that a right angle is 90 degrees, you know that a straight angle is double a right angle, or a right angle is half of a straight angle, because you know that 90 times 2 equals 180. You might also hear people refer to this as a flat angle. This is what a straight angle looks like. When I think about angles, I like to think about time, because it's another way for us to connect to different angles that we see in the minute hand and the hour hand. Okay, so if I have a clock here, a time that has a straight angle that I can think of is either 9:15 or 3:45. Okay, because it goes straight across. Another time that I can think of that's a straight angle is 6 o'clock. Or you can think about 12:30. You can go all the way across a clock in whatever way it's completely parallel to, whatever time it is, that's going to give you a straight angle. But those are the best way to visualize it. Okay, those 2 times. And speaking of clock and angles, we might as well look at a right angle. A time that would be a right angle would be if it's 3 o'clock, or if it was, erase this, do this again, 9 o'clock. That would be a right angle as well. So if you are wanting to point out different angles in your house, a clock is the best way to do it. All right, let's look at a different type of angle. We have 2 more. An acute angle. This is my favorite angle because it's so cute, because it's so little. It's your smallest angle. It's less than 90 degrees, so it's less than a right angle. So if I were to draw in a right angle right here, it would be like this. It would be like a corner. But look at this little angle. It's less than half of 90-degree angle. It's tiny. It has a small space between the lines. So in order to remember, an acute angle is the smallest angle. It's less than 90. You can think about how it is so cute. And a time that I think of for an acute angle could be as simple as 2 o'clock. Because you have it on 2 and 12, or 1 o'clock could be an acute angle as well. There's a lot of different times. Those are just a couple examples that I have. And the last type of angle that we're going to be looking at is called an obtuse angle. Obtuse sounds like obese, and obese means big. And that's exactly what it is. An obtuse angle is your biggest angle right before it gets to the straight line. Okay, so it's got to be more than 90, it's got to be more than a right angle, and it's got to be less than 180 because it has to be less than a straight angle. So it's your big angle that's not quite a straight line. So here are some different examples that I've drawn. And if I were thinking about a clock, an obtuse angle, you can think about it as 350 when the minute hand's on the 10 and the hour hand's on the 3. Okay, so those are your different types of angles. So let's go ahead and review them. We have right angles. Okay, those are 90-degree angles. Straight angles, that's a straight line across, that's 180. Acute angles, they're little bitty angles. They're so cute. And obtuse angles, they're big angles. They're like this. Okay, so now what I'm going to ask you to do for today, number 1, you're going to get your green light on reflex. We're going to work on that, multiplication fluency. Then you're going to watch this video and do this ed puzzle, and then after that, you're actually going to fill out the Google Forms. Okay, hope everyone has a happy Monday. I will see you tomorrow.